I'm Hannah Oravec, and I'm the founder and interior designer for Lawless Design. This is my husband Michael, and of course our dog Kona, and this is the log cabin that we just purchased in Maine. We're going to be renovating it, and I really wanted to share all the different details and bring you along the journey. Hi! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Oravec. I'm the founder and interior designer of Lawless Design, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Since we've been sanding for such a long time, I figured instead of doing just another video on us sanding for the weekend, I wanted to talk to you about the fun stuff, the design. And because I'm an interior designer, I really wanted to bring you along my vision for the space, for the cabin, and really the goals that I'm looking for to design this. And because Mike is an engineer and doesn't care about the aesthetic that much, I get free reign. So, no, in all seriousness, I have been asking him, I've been showing him different things and just making sure that what I'm envisioning is what he's envisioning, and we're really on the same page, which is really cool. In a lot of homes, when I'm working with clients, sometimes a husband and wife have two very different styles, and so trying to blend them can be a little bit difficult, but it's also fun in the challenge sense of having both people come together and really love the space, even though they have two completely different sides of what they're looking for. I tend to gravitate a little bit more eclectic, a little bit more detailed. Mike is a little bit more simplistic, also like some like rustic stuff. So we have a little bit of different style, but in the end, we both really like organic, modern kind of things, neutrals, bringing in organic materials like woods, stones, things like that. But this is a lot of what the renovation is going to focus on. Starting off, as you've seen, we are sanding all of the walls and the ceilings, which is really crazy. I started to do some takeoffs for it because we need to order the stain. It's like 5,000 square feet, probably more, of all of the walls and the ceilings, so we are sanding all of that, which is really, really crazy. But we ended up deciding that we're going to use Rubio Monocoat. It's a little bit more expensive than some of the other stains, but what we really love about it is it's a monocoat, so it's one coat. You put it on and you're good. You don't need to put any poly or anything else on it. Big aspect for me is it has no VOCs, so it's really good for indoor air quality. Because we have Kona there and we don't have, he's not wearing a respirator, I don't want him being exposed to any of those things, and just really people in general in the home, something that's really important. The big thing about my business that I focus on is sustainability and wellness. I have a WELL AP certification, and for that it's really designing for a healthy living environment for the people in there. So big aspect of this renovation is wanting to be as sustainable as possible, but also wanting to make this a healthy living environment. So the way that we're doing that is a lot of the furniture that we're getting, I'm looking at vintage furniture that's already made. Mike has made some of the furniture, which we've actually used Rubio for. For window treatment and different textiles, I'm looking at organic cottons, wools, linens, natural materials like that. That are rapidly renewable. They don't have toxins in them. They're GOAT certified, they're Ecotech certified. For different furniture that we are purchasing, which is just very minimal, I'm looking at Green Guard safe furniture, different certifications. And so these are things that you want to look at when buying for your home. And I won't go into detail about it because I don't want to bore you. And maybe that's a different topic that maybe in the next video, if you guys are interested in, I can go into more detail on these things. But those are some of the things that we're looking at. And especially for mattresses, this is a big aspect that I'm looking at and trying to decide. There's a couple of different mattresses. We have avocado at our home, we love it. And so I'm looking at a couple of different ones from them for up there. I want to make sure that the comfort level is really good for people, but also when you think about the different fills with mattresses that just have a ton of formaldehyde and different VOCs in them, it's something that's just non-negotiable for me, especially because I want people that are staying at this place to have a healthy living environment there, and not just to put some random polyurethane filled memory foam mattress in there. Let's talk about the vision for the space. I really wanted this to be a cozy cabin. I originally actually wanted to paint the walls black, which I know sounds really crazy, but I was envisioning this really dark, moody, cozy cabin, had this really cool vision for this space. However, the first time I went there, because we bought the house before I even had gone there, when we went up right before closing, I looked at it and I was like, there's no way that we're doing black in here. The windows are just in a location that don't provide a lot of light in there. There's not a lot of natural daylight. So I toned that back and then started thinking about pickling the walls to lighten it up. It didn't really go with the cozy cabin vibe that I was looking for. So again, I kind of reverted back and then I started to think, what do I actually want in this space? And I started looking at my mood boards and my Pinterest, and a lot of the things that I was pinning were warm wood tones and different wood stains on the walls. So that's why we went to Rubio. We looked at a bunch of different stains. Hopefully by this video that comes up, we've picked out a stain. They're actually all sitting next to me right here. I have some antique bronze, which I think is gonna be the winner. Don't hold me to it. We have oak, which looks a little green, so I'm not really sure about that. We have some other ones here. So we're gonna do some sampling hopefully later today or tomorrow before we go up to the cabin on Friday. So that whole aspect of the walls and the ceilings, I want to do the same. We are going to be doing the bedrooms in a pickling. I think that's going to look really cool just because the bedrooms are really, really dark. And I think by staining them, they feel very enclosed and kind of cave-like. And while I want this to be cozy, I think the bedrooms should be a little bit more brighter and airy just because of the window placement. You're not getting natural daylight there. With the bathroom, this is something that I'm really, really excited about. It's very different than any of the other bathrooms that I've done. We're doing a cool checkered pattern with fire clay tile. We're doing an 8x8, and I think this is going to be really fun. It's a gray and a terracotta color, and they have some variation in them, so each checkered might look a little bit different than the other one. To kind of bring it back and bring in a little bit more elegance and classic timeless elements to it, we're going to do brass hardware and a brass vanity. And just yesterday I went to Facebook. I found this Facebook Marketplace mirror. So I drove out to Boston. I was already there, but I drove out to the person's home and got it. It's a really cool kind of, it's half oval. It's kind of like an arch shape, but not full arch. It's an antique wood mirror that I think is going to look really cool. It's pretty large, so I think it's going to make a really cool statement. Part of the aspect of sustainability is using what's already there. So this is a big thing about why I've been looking at Facebook Marketplace or even Etsy for different things like that. On Etsy, actually, speaking of Etsy, I found our light there, and it's kind of a mid-century modern Danish look, which isn't necessarily something that I wanted for the home, but I think the light brings in a really cool eclectic feel that's a little bit different than some of the other pieces. And that's a big thing about spaces that I design, is I want them to feel eclectic and not necessarily a specific time period that you can stamp it being like, oh wow, all these trends here, this was totally done in 2022. I really want it to feel evolved and kind of a natural progression and growth throughout the years. So maybe if you want to switch something out, maybe like the curtain or the mirror, the light, or something like that, it just evolves with time and you're not having to replace the tile or every single aspect of that, because that's clearly not sustainable and also not budget friendly, which is another big thing about this cabin. Is the biggest challenge is, while trying to do this as sustainably and eco-friendly as possible, though that comes at expense a lot of times. And so trying to find things that are budget friendly, that's why I've been looking at Facebook Marketplace, because you find great deals there, honestly. And it's not necessarily the place that I go for my clients all the time, but for something like this, also again with lead times, are absolutely insane. Obviously, I'm sure you guys all know. It's a little tough to find things, and we're doing this pretty quick. The renovation in like 3 months. So a lot of times sofas take 4 or 5 months to come in. So I found a really nice CB2 sofa on Facebook Marketplace for a great price. It was in perfect condition. The guy was moving and just didn't need it anymore. It was barely used because he traveled a lot. So it was a great find, and I'm really excited about that piece. That was the first thing that we ended up buying, and part of the vision of some of the materials and different textures that I wanted to use, because we are going with just straight neutrals, is bringing a lot of different materials and textures to create contrast. It's a velvet sofa, so it's kind of like that really cozy, nice. It's a dark fabric, which is really great for renting out so that it's not getting stained or anything. Actually, you know what the piece that I'm probably most excited about is the dining table. The dining table is a travertine table, again from Facebook Marketplace. It's this round, cool oval, and I really just think it's gonna be a really cool thing. I'm picking up some other pieces like the dining chairs and some of the other things, but I think you guys are gonna be really excited when you start to see all the furniture roll in. Each thing should have a purpose in a space, and so I'm being very methodical, thinking about key things first, the big pieces of furniture to bring in, and then after that I'll start doing the artwork and decor and some of the linens and different things like that. But I really want to focus on the big pieces of furniture first. The kitchen is going to get a transformation. What we wanted to do is lighten that up because there's so many dark cabinets there and it's wood. So even though I'm lightening it up, we're actually going to paint the cabinets black and do a little bit of like a stained black so you still see some of the wood grain come through. We're going to be tiling the countertops, which is something a little bit different, but because of lead time and budget and all these other things, I really wanted to tile it. I think that's going to look really nice. Yes, the grout isn't ideal, but we couldn't get someone out to template for stone countertops till July, and we want to rent this out by May or June, so it just didn't make sense to do that. So we're going to be doing a tile countertop, which is going to give a little quaint cabin kind of feel. We took out the upper cabinets already, you saw that, and we're going to be adding in some shelves. We're going to add in some brass details with brackets and the knobs and things like that to kind of make it like really cool and moody a little bit, but because we're taking out those upper cabinets, it's going to really lighten it up. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you want to do more of sit-down videos. I can kind of talk to you about the design and a little bit about the design process and my thoughts. If you want me to go more into the sustainability and the wellness factor in the cabin, I would love to dive into that. So leave a comment, let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys next week. Thanks.